I cannot remember the plot for this book. Hi BookTube, it's Marianne at the last book, and today I want to share my TBR for the Black Author Readathon. So the Black Author Readathon is a month-long readathon in February, which focuses on romance written by Black authors. I believe the readathon has about 11 hosts in total. I'm going to put the announcement video link in the description box from Steph's Romance Book Talk, where she has all the information and the prompts and recommendations and everything like that on her channel. The bingo board has 24 prompts in total. 3 of them are action prompts, so posting vlogs or videos on YouTube or Instagram. The remaining 21 prompts are all book prompts. So I've got a list of 8 books here that I'm planning on reading. We've managed to hit all of the prompts bar one, and that was the romance graphic novel. I'm yet to find one that I want to read. Most of these books fit multiple prompts, so I will put in a text box which prompts that we're covering with them. The first book I'm planning on reading is Grading Curves by Naima Simone. The book centres around a character who is moved into a new small town. She is a teacher and she goes to get a tattoo done to kind of spice things up a bit. She has an experience with the guy who's tattooing her, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, and basically blows her mind. And then she goes into her job the next day as a teacher to find him there as her student. So that's going to be fun. So the next book I'm planning on reading is Equivalent Exchange by Christina C. Jones. It is a workplace romance, and we have 2 characters, Keris and Lakin. Keris is a graphic designer and she goes out for a drink, and the bartender Lakin, who is also wanting to open his own kind of brewery, serves her. The 2 of them have a one-night stand, but then he realises that she's this amazing graphic designer and offers her a job, but unfortunately she isn't really too happy with the idea because her ex that she's just broke up with, she worked with him, so she doesn't want to fall down the same kind of path. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Forbidden by Beverly Jenkins. In Forbidden, our male hero is white passing, so he's starting to build quite a successful life, but then he rescues a black woman called Eddie from the desert and starts to realise that he's kind of sick of hiding that part of himself, but at the same time doesn't want to give up on this sort of successful life that he's starting to build for himself. She wants to move to California, she doesn't want to stay where she is, so they have to decide there how they're planning on living their lives from now on. Is she going to go to California? Is he going to continue using the fact that he's white passing to continue progressing with this successful life, or can they have this successful life together? The next book I'm planning on reading is Who He Is by Shanora Williams. In this book, the main character, Eliza, has never had a boyfriend. She's never really been interested in guys. She's now of age, so she goes on tour with the band that her dad manages, and she bumps into her childhood crush, Gage, who is in the band, and she does not like who he is as a person, so I think it's going to have a nice hate to love vibe. They end up having a fling, but obviously eventually the summer has to end, the tour has to end, and then she's going to have to go and continue following her dreams. Are they going to stay together? Can their respective careers work side by side? Who knows? So the next book has me real curious, and it's Die For You by Marie Avant. This is a Scottish kind of mafia type romance we've got going on here. I've never read a romance novel with a Scottish crime family in it, and I'm here for it. I don't really think that we've got like any crime families anymore like these days. I'm probably wrong. Probably have some secret underground mafia like round the corner from me or something. I could be walking the school run with members of the Scottish mafia. Anyway, so the plot of the book, we have Leith and Chevelle. Leith is part of this Mackenzie clan, who are this crime family, and he and Chevelle lose their parents when they're really young, but they're always there for each other, and she thinks he's different from the rest of his family because she doesn't really like the whole Scottish mafia life. So she kind of wants to get him away, but then all these secrets come out and he has to go back and kind of like get involved with the violence, and I'm kind of into it. The next book is 2 Weeks Notice by Whitney G. The main character, Tara, works as an executive assistant and she hates her boss. And she tries to quit her job. He basically says to her, look, have you read your contract? And the contract is basically airtight. There are no loopholes. She can only leave this job if he sacks her. So she's stuck in this job with this guy that she hates, but then he offers her an out. He has a little proposition for her, and it sounds as if they're going to have a kind of enemies to lovers kind of vibe going on. The next book I'm going to read is called The Single Dad Arrangement by Tiana Cole. The two characters in the book, Sasha and Avery, are exes. So Sasha broke up with Avery because he was a total workaholic and just couldn't split his time between his job and her, and just generally kind of neglected the relationship. But he turns up at her door and he's like, hey, I've got this baby, can you like help me look after it? For some bizarre reason, there's not much context within the blurb, okay, but he ends up wanting to stage a fake marriage. So I don't understand like why they need to get married. I have no clue, but do you know what? I'm curious and I want to see what happens. The book I'll be reading after that is In Tandem by Christina C. Jones. So we have Brittany and we have Raphael, who are best friends, and she has vitiligo, so she doesn't really leave the area that she's living in, but she's really successful. She has her own business and things like that. Raphael is a professional cyclist, but gets into a really bad bike accident, and he doesn't know if he's ever going to be able to cycle again. And she wants to get out of her comfort zone. Brittany wants to kind of ask him to take her cycling, to go and get some fresh air and get some sunshine, get some vitamin D. Nope. The last book I'm planning on reading for the readathon is Haunted by Christina C. Jones, and we have the main character, Khalida, who is basically bored with life. Everything is mundane and boring, but then she meets this super hot guy and she starts thinking that she's having hallucinations, and there's talk of immortals and mind control and psychic abilities. So that's my TBR for the Black Author Readathon. I didn't have much difficulty putting this TBR together. I had a conversation with somebody about reading diversely, and they said to me that the reason that they didn't read as diversely was because books from authors of colour weren't as easily accessible as books by white authors. Technically, that's true. Generally, the books that become really popular are written by white authors and therefore more aggressively marketed, and people are more likely to pick them up and read them. However, when it comes to reading, the onus is on the reader to find what they want to read. If you have a desire to read diversely, in your hand right now you have access to literally all of the information that the world has to offer. It takes 2 seconds. It takes 2 seconds to type in Black romance author. If you don't have the resources to buy books every month, or you're on a book buying ban, there are plenty of books by Black authors on Kindle Unlimited, and even though Kindle Unlimited is a free service for you to use because you're paying a subscription, the authors do get money from Amazon whenever you read their books on Kindle Unlimited. If you want to support them further, buy the book. Same thing with Scribd. Authors are compensated when you listen to the books in Scribd. There are plenty of Black authors that are on there. You have libraries around you. Basically, there is no excuse to not read diversely. There are ways, there are means. you need to actively seek it out. If it's not being provided to you on a platter, you have to seek it out. Watch recommendation videos, use websites that do tailored recommendations for Black authors, follow Black booktubers, follow Black bookstagrammers. I'll be vlogging during the readathon, and I'll check in, and I'll speak to you guys later. So happy reading, stay safe, and I'll speak to you guys later. Bye.